From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast, and I'm indeed, as the swanky new intro says, your host, Chris Jaggs. I hope you're having a great day so far, and if not, what can we do to change that? This is episode 33 of the podcast. Where has the time gone? Speaking of time going by, have we really been in lockdown for like 13 weeks or so? I know it was bringing people down after a few weeks. I mean, over in China, I think the divorce rate went up by 70% or so? People being cooped up all day with each other, no break, just testing a relationship. And the extra pressure and then losing your motivation during the ongoing lockdown is the subject of this exact episode. Before we get to it, let's get the call to action out there first. Have you booked your call with me yet? Would you like to identify that issue you have? Would you like to develop a habit? And would you like to take your life onto a higher level? I mean, it sounds great and so many others have already done it, but when are you planning on doing it exactly? My calendar is wide open waiting for you at ldlcall.com. Go to the website, find your ideal slot in the calendar and book it. We can talk and start to smash your issue about the place before solving it. I mean, what else would you like? Now, how about some reviews? You know I love to see them keep coming in. This week we have, our first one is from Tony Pritchard, who says, great podcast, very insightful when it's only a minute. Well, most of them. So if an episode didn't do it for you, no loss. Appreciate good work, Chris. Keep it up. Thanks, Tony. Your name sounds familiar. Maybe we've met before. Second review is from Connor Clark from over in Canada. Place I've always wanted to go. It looks amazing over there. Mr. Clark's review says, what a way to start the day. Discovered this podcast today and loved it. Think it'd be part of my new morning routine. Chris was great to listen to and I'd recommend the podcast to anyone. Again, thank you for your kind words, Connor. Really appreciate it, and it's always great to see where this is coming from. I think in the next episode, let's have a rundown of where this podcast is actually downloaded. And from the top of my head, I think mostly the UK, the US, France and Ireland are in the top 4. Let me know if you're listening. Now, let's have a drop and let's get this going.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Right, we're back to business. Shall we get down to it? At the time of recording this, it's Friday the 12th of June, and this should be going out early next week, and by that time, it'll be 13 or 14 weeks into lockdown. Is it still going on? This started back in March, and I'm not going to waffle on as detailed. You're probably sick of seeing anything to do about it with the coronavirus. Oh, I said it. Sorry. Possibly the most hated word of 2020. We all know what it's about. You know, some people actually think it's not real, but there you go. We know the world has gone to the toilet, so to speak. Well, you know what I mean. There have been countless memes out there on social media about 2020. Someone's plans for the year dressed as a knight with all the protection, and then COVID-19 being the one arrow that found the one hole in the knight's helmet. And my favourite one this week was, let's just leave the Christmas tree up in the loft. Just leave it in storage, and let's just move on to 2021. These are all true feelings around the world. COVID-19 has been a major disruptor to life, to business, to leisure, pretty much everything. Unless you're a duck, I'm pretty sure, apart from people not feeding them, they've been okay. Weeks spent in lockdown, working at home, dealing with other challenges, homeschooling, supermarket queues, limited access to outside, routines that have been completely thrown up in the air, and all these have had a significant effect on people's motivation towards everything and anything. From the many stories, reports and features out there, we all know that some of the best ways to look after our mental and physical health during lockdown is to do exercise, eat healthy food, keep our minds busy and purposeful. But, in the same breath, being cooped up indoors and finding ourselves emotionally drained by the daily news can impact how motivated we feel to actually do those things. Especially when we don't know how long the lockdown's going to last. The most important thing to keep in mind during this time is that you aren't alone, and that this situation, it's temporary and it will pass, just like kidney stones. But alongside all that, another often question is, why is doing nothing during lockdown so exhausting? It was thought that the one silver line of the coronavirus lockdown was that it would at least give you time to catch up on all the much needed rest, the stuff needs doing around the house and anything else. Most of us don't have to get up quite as early to commute for work. All our social plans are scrapped. But you can't go to the gym for your usual spin classes. But why on earth are we all so exhausted? Some of us are doing literally nothing all day long, but we're still so tired. Of course, there are plenty of legitimate reasons why lockdown might be so draining and just zapping your energy away. If you have kids, it's a completely different story. Suddenly, you are juggling homeschooling with working from home with zero respite. It's obviously exhausting, and lots of us are struggling to sleep at the moment. The heady mix of anxiety, dread, and disruption of our normal routines is leading to insomnia and disrupted sleeping patterns for many of us, which could explain some of the tiredness. The big question that ties all of this into it is, why are we losing motivation during lockdown, and what can we do about it? How do we battle through and stay motivated? What do we do? We can try and focus on the positive and celebrate the little things. While staying well informed is important and we keep up to date with the latest government guidelines, it can be very helpful to limit the amount of time you spend looking at negative news stories and dwelling on everything that frustrates you about the current situation. It's been said that you can feel your energy drain away whilst reading or watching the news. Think of those poor newsreaders. Limit the time that you consume news to 30 minutes a late afternoon. This has led to people being in great moods for the rest of the day. Minimal impact. Do it first thing in the morning, you set up for dread for the rest of the day. Do it late at night, you go to bed thinking about it. What will be important for so many people right now is to stay connected with people that make you feel good. If you're struggling to stay motivated during the lockdown, then consider staying in regular contact with friends and family. These people are positive and tend to lift your spirits. If you're feeling a bit low, it can be tempting just to retreat into your shell and avoid social contact altogether. But a chat with a cheerful loved one can give you a little bit of a boost. It's quite likely that you may well know someone that lives on their own. Making that call or sending that text message might be the only contact that person has for a few days or even weeks. But you could make the difference. Maybe make contact with a few different people each day, each week. I know a lot of people who have said they've never spoken to so many people until the lockdown, as their busy lives have slowed right down. You could also create small realistic goals each day and week. What you do is up to you. You may have heard this one a few times already, but it's only because having a routine during a period of uncertainty can actually help give you some sort of stability, some reassurance, and a sense of normality. As humans, we are creatures of habit, and we take comfort from some sort of routine, no matter how flexible and changeable that routine may be. Often, if we wake up and then spend time contemplating all the things we could do of our day, it's easy to find it too hard to choose from your ideas or to overthink each idea and just end up doing nothing. Just sitting in front of the TV for hours. It's not an option here. To avoid this happening, try sitting down and just with a diary or a notepad every Sunday, map out the sort of plan for your week. Try to stick to your routine as much as possible, but allow yourself some breathing space too. If you feel exhausted come Wednesday and want to take an afternoon nap, let yourself. Or if you're not quite up for that 5k run, well, try going for a walk instead. Or how about 1k? Just get some fresh air. That 5k will come soon enough. We are humans, not robots. So although routine can be a really motivational tool, it's important not to punish yourself if you don't stick to the routine religiously, because that can eventually become just as demotivating as having no routine at all. Small steps can offer big rewards, so only take on what you think you can realistically manage. Why not find a purpose during the lockdown? One of the key reasons you might be lacking motivation is because you feel that you've got nothing to get up for in the morning. You might think, why shouldn't I lay in bed until midday if I've got nothing to do today? This is why it's important that you establish a sense of purpose throughout the lockdown period. Purpose is what motivates you. It's what motivates you to get up and see the day through. If you have goals and things that you want to achieve, it's usually easier to get up and get going. You can use this time to find out what really motivates you. If you're experiencing a loss of purpose and motivation at the time, then whilst this can be a real challenge to work through, it can also offer a great opportunity. When was the last time that you had this amount of time to reflect, to focus on what's really important to you and consider what makes you really happy? Many of us will be feeling particularly grateful for our health and health of our family and friends right now. And perhaps certain things that seemed important before, they just no longer do. Maybe you need a change of direction that you'd like to continue once lockdown's finally over. Maybe you want to keep going for that run every day, or continue to write that book, launch a podcast, have a YouTube channel to continue to grow. This is a time where you have the extra time for yourself to really push for something new in your life, and you deserve that. It can be really easy to see people all over the internet doing all sorts of incredible things, and in turn, you feel like you have to do the same. Try not to compare yourself to others, because everyone will be coping with lockdown in their own little way. Some people, they may find it easy to completely block their week out of activities hour by hour, whilst others may be happy to plan a few things here, a few things there, and perhaps even putting aside a whole day to snuggle into the sofa and catch up on your favourite show. Oh, and those really great pictures on Instagram? Look, these are people that are just really good at taking photos, remember that. What motivates you may be of no interest to someone else and vice versa, so it's crucial that you listen to your own mind and body and focus on the things that will help you and make you happy. We all have our good and bad days, so if you find yourself having a bad day, then try to think of every day as a fresh start, brand new canvas. As I've said before, every day is a brand new page in your book, and it's just a brand new opportunity to find something that works for you. If you want to discuss anything that we covered in the episode, hey, I'm more than happy to speak to you. You can book your slot, ldlcall.com. I'm here for you. I'll wrap this one up and be back tomorrow with another 1 minute motivator. So until then, bonjour and good day.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at learndeveloplive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.